Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of the Daily Strange Stories. I'm John Brown. Our lead story for today. Phalaborwa accident kills 5 people as VW Polo falls off the bridge, catches fire and burns all passengers. The quiet of a typical Saturday afternoon in Limpopo was shattered on May 10, 2025, when a devastating accident on the R71 highway near the JCI mine in Phalaborwa claimed the lives of 5 people. What began as an ordinary journey for those involved turned into a nightmare, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable horror and a community grappling with grief. The incident unfolded with terrifying speed. A red Volkswagen Polo Vivo, reportedly en route from Phalaborwa towards Gravelotter, was traveling along the R71 when tragedy struck. For reasons still under investigation, the vehicle veered off the road, careening off a bridge and plummeting into the area below. The impact of the fall was severe, but what followed was even more catastrophic. Almost immediately after hitting the ground, the Polo burst into flames. Eyewitnesses who were passing by the area at the time recounted seeing the vehicle engulfed in an inferno. The flames spread rapidly, consuming the car and trapping those inside. The intensity of the fire made any immediate rescue attempts impossible. As smoke billowed into the sky, the news of the accident began to spread. People passing by started recording videos of the burning vehicle, which quickly circulated on social media, alerting the wider community to the tragedy that had unfolded. The images were graphic and disturbing, painting a grim picture of the scene. Emergency services were quickly dispatched to the location, but the situation they encountered was dire. The fire was raging, and the vehicle was already burned almost beyond recognition. Firefighters worked tirelessly to extinguish the flames, but it was clear from the outset that there was little hope of finding any survivors. Once the fire was finally brought under control, the grim task of recovering the remains of the victims began. The scene was described as heartbreaking, with the car reduced to a charred shell. The intensity of the blaze had made it extremely difficult to identify the deceased, adding another layer of complexity to the tragedy. Initial reports suggested that some of the passengers in the vehicle may have been hitchhikers. This detail further complicated the identification process, as authorities had to rely on witness accounts and other means to try and determine who was in the car at the time of the accident. It was reported that a number of passengers had disembarked at a known hiking spot before the vehicle continued its journey. The Limpopo Transport and Community Safety Department issued a statement expressing their shock and sadness at the accident. MEC for Transport and Community Safety, Suzanne Violet Maitier, conveyed her sincere condolences to the families of the victims. The department also urged motorists to exercise extreme caution when driving on the R71, especially in the area near the JCI mine. Preliminary investigations pointed to a possible tyre burst as the cause of the accident. According to these initial reports, the driver of the Polo lost control of the vehicle after experiencing what appeared to be a tyre failure. However, authorities stressed that the exact cause of the crash was still under investigation and that they were awaiting the results of a thorough examination by the South African Police Service, SAPS. The SAPS registered a case under Phalaborwa CAS and launched a full investigation into the circumstances surrounding the accident. Investigators were tasked with gathering evidence, interviewing witnesses, and examining the wreckage of the vehicle to determine exactly what had led to the tragic events. As families began the agonizing process of identifying their loved ones and making funeral arrangements, the community of Phalaborwa came together to offer support and comfort. The accident had touched the lives of many, highlighting the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. The investigation into the crash continued, with authorities meticulously piecing together the events that led to the tragedy. While the preliminary reports suggested a tyre burst, investigators were also exploring other potential factors, such as mechanical failure, driver error, and road conditions. Provincial Department of Transport spokesperson, Chifiwa Deli, reiterated that the department would await the final report from SAPS before drawing any definitive conclusions about the cause of the accident. He emphasized the importance of a thorough and impartial investigation to ensure that all relevant factors were taken into account. Thank you for watching this news video. We'd love to hear what you think about this story, so please leave your comments below. We read them all and appreciate your insights. Join us again in our next strange story. Until then, goodbye.